Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I will be showing you guys how you can be able to grow your shoulders, as a skinny guy. You can be able to get those round, bolder 3D like shoulders, that pop out, when you're wearing a shirt and all that, to make your physique, give you that aesthetic look to your physique. Also guys, I want to thank you guys for all the support on the channel over the last few weeks. We've been growing very well over the course of the last few weeks. I want to make sure you guys know that I appreciate every single one of you. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting content every single week. Let's get into the video. So as you guys can see from this picture, I started off as very skinny. One of the muscle groups that I was greatly lacking in, especially when I just started, was my shoulders. I had the biceps, I was growing the triceps, even my chest was, getting there, but I didn't have the shoulders. I didn't know how important this muscle is, especially if you want that aesthetic V-taper physique, which is something I used to watch a lot of fitness influencers who had this aesthetic physique, and I always wanted, to have those broad, big, wide shoulders. Every single step that I do in my shoulder workouts, and I'm gonna tell you guys stuff which you can apply to your own training, to build your shoulders, to give you that nice aesthetic V-taper physique. Let's get into the video. So the first thing I do before I get into my shoulder workout is I make sure I warm up the muscle. This is something I've really started doing recently. I feel like it's very good, especially before you go into pressing movements. It's good to have that blood flow in the muscle, get that blood in the muscle to give you a better pump, also to avoid injuries. You're gonna press a heavy weight, you don't wanna tweak something in your shoulder. I just do, I don't really have like a proper stretching routine for my shoulders. I just, go in with some light dumbbells, try to do some rotator cuff work, just, get some blood flow in the muscle. It doesn't have to be too much. There's no specific sets you should do, like 3 to 4 sets of this. No, just get some, some light dumbbells, move them around, make sure your joints are good. After this warm-up, we're gonna go straight into heavy pressing. After my warm-up, I'll go straight into the heaviest set, if that makes sense. I don't do, because I've already warmed up my shoulders, I'm not gonna go and do another warm-up set of shoulder presses. No, I'll just go straight into the heavier movement. And I think that's another thing that has benefited me when I started stretching before the workouts. It's I don't have to do junk volume. So I see some people, setting up the bench too upright, and I also see some people setting up the bench too lean back. You should set up the bench to a position whereby you're able to feel it in your front delts, because that's what we're targeting with the shoulder press movement. You want to be able to push with your front delts with minimal chest activation. So I'm gonna do this for about 2 to 3 sets. All of my sets, I do them to failure, apart from the first set. So I do the first set, I do probably 8 to 12, 8 to 10, and then the other 2 sets after that are gonna be my working sets. So I'm gonna train to absolute failure. I feel like with the shoulder pressing, you shouldn't be doing more than 8 reps on your working sets. I feel like 6 to 8 reps is our next movement. Is gonna be cable side lateral raises. We're gonna start off with the cables before we go to the dumbbells, because I feel like I like to do these when my shoulders are still have a lot of energy in them. I like to do these when my side delts are still, fresh, so I can be able to lift a heavier weight. Because if I start off with the dumbbells, the weight I'll be able to pull with the cables will be useless, because I'll have to go very, very light, and then I'll end up not feeling it activating my side delts. So I'll do this for about 6 to 8 reps. Pick a weight. Don't ego lift to the side lateral raises, especially with the cable. This exercise, guys, is going to humble you. No matter how big you are, no matter how much pre-workout you take, you're gonna be humbled on this exercise, because you just generally can't pull too heavy on this. So I'll just say pick a weight where you can do about 8 to 10 reps. I only do this for 2 sets to failure, because our shoulders are already warmed up at this point. So just go to failure on these. A tip with the foam, I saw Jeff Nippard talk about this. You don't want to pull it from down, you want to pull it from wrist height. So when you're setting it up, just watch out for this. Make sure it's angled directly at your wrist, so you're able to keep a lot of tension on the side delt. Also, I would recommend let the arms swing across your body. Increase that stretch on the side delts before you go up. Don't just reach your waist and then stop there. No, keep the tension, let it pull your arm towards the cable. across your body, just like the way I was doing it here. And guys, this is probably the most important tip. If you've not learned anything so far from this video, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. If you guys want to grow your shoulders, you need to be training your shoulders more than once a week. Just like any other muscle you'd want to grow, if you look at your physique and you say, okay, I want to grow my arms, I want to grow my shoulders, you need to start doing shoulders. Personally, I really found shoulders important for the physique I was trying to get. So I make sure after training my chest, I'll hit some side delts, I hit some lateral raises. After legs, I hit some lateral raises. After, training my arms, I'll make sure I'm hitting my shoulders at the least 4 times a week. They are not a big muscle, so they don't need a lot of recovery. So you need to be hitting them at least 4-5 times a week. So as you can see now, at the end of the workout, we're gonna just spam lateral raises. I prefer to do these seated actually. I feel like more stable and my core doesn't tend to get as tired. Sometimes you might be standing, you might be trying to lateral raise, and like your stomach or your core, I don't know if it's just me, you start to feel fatigued, and start breathing heavy. So I just prefer to do these seated. Another tip on the lateral raises, try to do drop sets. So the side delt is not a big muscle, so you can handle a lot of volume and intensity is what builds the muscle. So spam these, do as many drop sets as possible, as you can see me doing here. Our final movement is guys, if you want that rounded look on your shoulders, you need to stop neglecting your rear delts. I see guys do this all the time. You might have a good side delt, good front delt. Front delt, you hit it even when you're doing like bench press and training your chest. You need to make sure you guys hit your rear delts. When I started training rear delts, it transformed my physique tremendously. Even my back, not only my shoulders, but my back as well. From the back, you can see the rear delts popping out. It gives you that aesthetic, full look in your shoulders. So make sure you guys don't neglect your rear delts. There are many exercises you can do for the rear delts. You can even do them with dumbbells. You can do rear delt flies, but I prefer to use this pec deck machine. I feel like, again, my core has stability and all that, and yeah, I'm able to target my rear delts very well and with a heavier weight than I would be able to do with the dumbbells. So that's gonna be all for this video. If you guys have learned something, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, comment down below anything I might have missed, any advice. You guys might also have some advice for me. Some of you guys might be bigger than me, so comment down below. See you guys in the next one.